Sorry, I thought I brought it. Tongues like handshakes. That's my band. I was born a traveling man, piloting this car, going across the country. And while we left, my mother's son said, "Mother, please don't worry. I'll stay in this place until the day I can miss your family." So I was made into an alien, brought into foreign land and apartments in North Carolina suburbs. And I would sleep in the palace, I'd rest on the air mattress, and I'd hold my head inside the water until my small lungs shriveled up. It was a competition with my brother. And I close my eyes, and I tell myself that in this new home, I would never have to say goodbye. That there was something waiting out there, far away, a handshake to fill the vines of my grapevine stomach. And I fall asleep, and I just keep dreaming that maybe one day, maybe we'd be famous, singing all about our life and our troubled times and how they never even got the best of us. And so, my brother, I will stay in this place until I know that time has come. So I was just a child when we moved into a house on 6064, and I would try to hold in each breath we lived while our dog chased me across the kitchen floor. And I would cry, I would laugh, and I noticed that sorrow, it always seemed to pass when you're young. The world can never understand you, but it can change you, and it changed me into a stable man, my new homeland, and my lungs were still expanding. And after the 3 longest days that we ever had to wait, a voice came and said, "Mother, I am so sorry. You see, I'm ashamed of my sorry ways, and I miss your smile, and I miss our family." As I saw, I was living my life, and I was just like him, these lives that I was living, taking the deepest, darkest breath of life that I could take in my very few days, saying, "I am just like spray paint, and my designs will live on forever, spread across these dugout walls, some kind of night that I will always remember, like when I was reborn, and I was in love with Sarah, until she snapped me like twigs under the bleachers, and we were such kids, because all we ever did was act as careless as one another. And thrown to my knees under these clacking trees, I realized that when you grow up, sorrow just lingers. But I rebuilt myself from that rubbled hell into a hollow glass-stained building, and there I stood. Here I stood, as tall as I could, without my structure failing. And there was such standing awe in the tourist song, begging for my new fame, begging for my new fortune. But I still fell asleep just to exhale steam, and I saw that here I was, and I was singing these songs about the love that I had lost and the life that I was living, saying that this will never get the best of me. But guess what? It did get the best of me, and it still does sometimes, most of the time, get the best of me. And so here I am, birthed in this foreign land, curled up in my brother's hand, and I just want to scream, who would ever want to be famous in a place where tongues are only handshakes, and where we dance in the dark with one another, and such an elegant spin until our eyes open to see that our lungs and my lungs were only expanding with water. And so filled with red, I jerked my head out to take the deepest, bluest breath that I could take, and that's when I found Harper's face. And the next 40 days she spent unknowingly pulling me from my inevitable drowning. I was undone from that man-made ocean where my brother and I swam as children, and all I wanted to do was tell her thanks. But I can never explain the depth of this isolation, like the depth of her truth. She said, "I'm born traveling too, in a car crawling in and out of this country, and so we've grown in our surrogate homes." And she keeps saying, "You gotta understand that goodbye is just another part of the story, and you can't stay in a place until the day you know you're happy." So my skin was still drying up. During that swollen month, the salt water jumping off of my face and onto my wrist, into a blue handkerchief she gave to me before the first day of May. And it somehow, the most faithless person can spark a faith. Just like those chalkstone days, because when you are young, tell me if I'm right, when you're struggling, the entire world is either with or they are all against you, but not you, my untampered Azul Harper. I do not understand what you are, but I know that you are right. Blindfolded by sight, I can almost hear the giggles of 1,000 small angels in a children's play during the set change. And my stomach is turning knots of all the chatter and all the butterflies that soon swarm in my grapevine chest, squeezing my brother scent out of the skin and out of the pores of my body into a timpani roll that's saturated to a breaking point to meet our firm and our very magnificent handshake. And my chest opened up like a display case in the centrum, and I screamed, whether I should have or whether I shouldn't have, I sure would know you, but I do not know how to. And she said, you could never understand this person that I am. There is no faith, there is no charm, there is no meaning in my liar's face, my euthanized faith. The only signs that what you are seeing in my reflection is a lie. Words like might only decorate the uncertainty of my maybe tomorrows. And so Harper, how about you just tell me who you are? And why the stars are only tombstones for your eyes and not gifts from fellow immigrants leaving their yarn, leaving their breadcrumbs throughout your broken countryside. How about a postcard from the one who broke your heart? How about that, Harper? You know, the one you swear to me, and you swear to them, and you swear to everyone around me doesn't exist, like our fictional kiss and my finger twist crossed in the hopes of breaking, in the hopes of a tangible feeling. Because when you were young, you can't tell me that you didn't sing just to prove that you were feeling, and just to prove that you were hearing, and you didn't yell just to prove that you knew something, and you didn't jump just to prove that one day you might even touch that shattered, broken ceiling. But I've already reached these icy peaks, and I buried my empty glass-stained building back into my past to sit on the grass with you, Harper. And whether we're wishing on stars or satellites so far out of our understanding, and you're always wondering if they mean something or if they mean nothing, well, I'll tell you, the only thing that ever mattered about them was that they sometimes seemed like the same thing. And maybe I said too much to you, maybe I didn't say enough, but I lost her on the 21st, begging for a maybe tomorrow. My 3 days never came, and I lived life waiting. I lived life searching, just like my mother and my father, for the child who stayed behind. And Harper, maybe you're right. Maybe goodbye is just another part of a story, but you can't tell me there is a faith that moves so far away that it can keep you from your structure withstanding these washing waves or the alphabet of fame, because the only home that I've ever had or you will ever have is the memory. And I do remember a lot, sometimes not so much, sometimes too much, and my mind is overflowing with all this information. Like your night terrors of Christian and his lips so silent that only spoke to you in white pages. And maybe one was me, Harper. And maybe I learned from that my book is only half blank, but I will always remember these pages that I've written. And what I'm trying to get at today, I went back to that apartment I used to live in, and I ran by, and I didn't know what I was looking at, and then I saw that it was the boy that I used to be then, and it was you, Harper, untampered Azul, pure blue. Harper, you are nothing but my fickle youth. And I'm so scared of letting go and changing colors, because future is only a might. Future is only a satellite. It's as bright as any cosmos, but it's still only a wish. It's only a fabricated kiss reeling the stars out of your tombstones. And so next time you close your eyes, do not sweat, Harper, do not cry at the walls of your eyelids. Those twisted dreams of his quiet teeth have only ever flooded us with white pages. And I can't leave, Harper. I can't. Even if goodbye is part of the story, I'm just saying, are you kidding? I'll miss my home. I'll miss my family and my friends. I'll miss the depths of 6064 and the glass under its floorboards of a tower only as high as my memory, reflecting my first love. Sarah, I am so thankful, but I am so sorry for everything that was said on baseball beds, because when we were young and we were in love, this entire world was a playground, but I still roam and I'm alone, and the branches still snap out echoes of my yells and my cries and my contemporary lullabies and the thoughts and the songs, the love songs, and the friends that I sang them with. sometimes so far under, and sometimes so very far above the fermentation, the breaths that we live in, knowing that one day they might just kill them, until those blue light branches set our faces into realization that we're not the only ones on this planet who are suffering. There is no greater star than the one that you are wishing on. And Harper, there is still hope in your broken, beaten, battered heart as long as it is still beating. Existence, Harper, it's what I'm trying to say. It's what I'm telling. When I look in my reflection, it's what I'm seeing. When I'm saying these words, it's what I'm feeling. When I'm singing my songs, it's what I am screaming. Existence. And I still have time to exist. And all these people in front of me, all these people I'm looking into, they are not the things that I have to let go of. It's these reds and these blues and these me's and these you's. I can't keep running away from the person that I'm going to become just because it is not who I was. Abandoning the future is just like his abandoning the family that he never felt a part of. But Harper, my mother's son, my brother, you have always and will always be one of us. And the person that you see in the mirror is not the person that you are destined to become. So Harper, travel light. Enjoy your time. And leave whispers of yourself in the dugouts. Write yourself in a wrinkled page with words only as handshakes that twist in the corridors of our mouths. And when you close those blue eyes, I know they aren't mine. Just dream handkerchiefs. Harper, dream lullabies. None of this nonsense that we call sorrow, because I have been submerged and I have learned that there is still hope and maybe tomorrow.